And so this chat group that I'm in, my homeboy Derek was like, he said, "Has anybody remember the song Lose Control from the group Silk?" He was like, "It'd be dope if somebody sampled it." I made the beat, and I knew I had something when I was laying in the bed looking at the ceiling, and I can just hear the beat on loop for like an hour, and it didn't feel like an hour. That's when I knew, like, okay, this is something. That next day, my homeboy Ryan Toby, he's a songwriter. He was in the group City High.
Yeah. Okay.
He called me and he's like, "Yo, man, what you doing?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, just over here working on some music." He was like, "Bring it through." And I play all 5 beats. He was like, "Man, I want to write to this one." And I would say maybe 2 weeks later, and he texts me and he says, "Chris Brown's recording the song tonight." And I'm like, "What?"
Say it again.
"Chris Brown's recording the song tonight."
Say it one more time.
"Chris Brown's recording the song tonight."
I had a
podcast will start in.
Run it up. We're chasing all the lights all day, every night. Hustle till we get it right. Aiming for the moon, show the stars fly by. Don't sleep, don't sign, gotta reach for the sky. Run it up. We're chasing all the lights all day, every night. Hustle till we get it right. Aiming for the moon, show the stars fly by. Don't sleep, don't sign, gotta reach for the sky. Run it up, run it up.
What are you laughing at? You just over here laughing.
Yes, sir. That's my nature.
Well, you know what's crazy is you could barely see him with this new background.
right. I was just about to say, welcome to the new look, Grind It Up.
Yeah.
Jack
So-
Stice is blending in with the background.
Yes.
And Mark gonna tell you about our guest while Nice and I still got the same ass background. But it's all good.
That's about to change soon.
So what happened was the budget only made it so far.
Right.
It started over here and didn't make it over there yet.
So tune in to Kofi.com.
No doubt.
Coffee.
Damn.
Kofi. That's all right.
Y'all know what I mean. Shit.
And what y'all don't get to see
Yeah.
is Chesney Perez is in the house. She had her hair down and she just took it back up. Y'all know that's like a highlight around here. So, yeah, hell
It's
yeah.
a routine.
Boy, Chesney took her hair down. We had a movie scene kickoff last week. It was like, damn.
Oh, yes, sir.
All right.
All
Let's
right.
talk
So
about the guests.
welcome to the Grind Up Podcast. Today we have the one and only Skip a Beat, Mr. Skip a Beat,
Mr. Skip.
Mr. Skip. I say the old name because a lot of the people from St. Louis,
Yeah,
when you came in,
yeah.
that's what they knew you for.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Mr. Skip,
What's
tell
going
us
on?
all about how you rise to fame, I guess you could say it, in the early days, like into the St. Louis scene.
Okay, into the St. Louis.
Yes, St.
My
Louis.
man.
We'll start with St. Louis first.
I mean, I pretty much been producing music since '96. Was recording back in the early '90s. I first want to also, before we even get this thing started, I had to come through and pull up on this man right here is a legend.
Thank you, bro.
I'm talking about back in 91, 92, listening to Magic 108. They playing Silk Smooth on the radio. I'm hearing Cool Odie. I'm hearing the name Odie.
Right on.
I think it was in 2000, I believe, 2001, I was in the Murder Dog. I was looking at Murder Dog magazine. I was up in Jefferson City, Missouri, finishing up school at Lincoln University. And they had an edition where they did St. Louis edition of artists.
Yep.
And when I was flipping through the book, I saw that Odie was in there. Now, I never met this man, but his T-mail, I think it was like this I remember the T-Mobile, not the what's them, the sidekicks.
Yeah.
Sidekick.
Oh, yeah.
I think he had a
Oh,
sidekick,
yeah.
and it was the T-mail address, and and his contact number was on there, and I reached out to him, and we connected from that time moving forward. So I just wanted to just say, you know, I had to pull up, come through, and see this man, put some eyes on this man. So that
I appreciate it sincerely,
You know
bro.
what I'm saying?
Like, because we know you got a busy schedule.
Yeah.
You in and out of town. So just the fact that you even were able to make it by, Grind It Up, I genuinely appreciate it, and I hope the crew does as well.
Yeah, for
Absolutely.
Oh,
sure.
yes, sir.
For sure.
Salute.
So,
Absolutely.
but I started producing in '96, and you know, I just started just grinding, making my way. Now we're talking about the music, because the hair and the music go hand in hand.
Right. That's
For someone that doesn't know Mr. Skip,
Mm-hmm.
let them know who you are.
I'm a barber, hairstylist, music producer, artist, podcaster,
Writer,
you know,
all that.
writer, all that,
Yeah.
a songwriter. all that, man. YouTuber, you know what I'm saying? I got,
Yeah.
it's all that.
Jack of all.
Well, let's
Jack of
let's
all
do
trades.
music first.
Okay, so on the music,
I definitely want to cover the Barber.
Yeah.
But we go,
well, on the music scene, so I went off to college and I started making beats, and I came back, graduated in 2001 from Link University with a communications broadcasting degree, and came back to St. Louis, and I wanted to get my feet wet in the city just to be like, you know, what's going on. And so I made different connections. In 2006, it was a song I did with Chocolate Thai that I met her because she was working at Streetside Records down at the Loop.
shout out to Chocolate Thai.
And, I had some beats on me, and we went into the parking lot. I played the beats in the car, and I was just one of those guys, those producers where I have the image in my head, the vibe of what I want the artist to sound like on the records. So I was doing that for her, and she was like, "Oh, so you a producer? You're not just like giving me beats." I was like, yeah. So anyway, we linked up and did a record. Well, that record ended up, they started playing that on the radio and playing it in the club. And so I was like, whoa. And then I linked up with the artist named Coco, who has the song the song Mob Out.
Yep.
And me and Neck Jerker, rest in peace, Neck Jerker.
Mm-hmm.
Me and him linked up, and I had this beat that I did, and I had it for Coco. And when I went into the studio, I wanted a tag. This was when Nitty had it. It's a Nitty beat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there weren't really too many producers with their tags, at that time. And so I went into the booth and I told Neck Jerk, I said, record me. And I said, he said, all right, go ahead. And I was like, Mr. Skipper beat. Because the skip was like it skipped.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, now screw that down 2 notches. And so then he
That's how
screwed it
the
down,
octave
and
changed.
that's where my tag became the Mr. Skipper beat. So that particular beat, which was the one for Coco, ended up landing with Jenna, who is now Fresco Kane, which is the How You Want It, Show Me My Opponent track called Where They At.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so that's where the whole Mr. Skipper beat thing, it wasn't really my intention of being like, I'm Mr. Skipper beat, but the tag is what became the first thing people would hear.
Yep.
And that's what they associated me with. So that's what it kind of be. So St. Louis started naming me Mr. Skipper beat.
Yeah. Shout out to Fresco Kane real quick. I had that track before you had it. I just wanted to know that. Go ahead.
So yeah, but that was on just the radio commercial side of things. I was doing, me and my homeboy Tron, we were doing underground boom bap records under our own production group called Narrow Path. We were down on Washington at the Loop selling CDs. So I mean, that's why they call me Skip, because I kind of can skip around doing all different kinds of things,
Now, you've already touched on a couple of things that I was going to touch on anyway. Just the fact that you mentioned both the club side and the underground hip hop. I already had it in my head that I was going to come on and say you are definitely one of the more versatile producers. When we met, I guess because of how we met and who I was dealing with at the time, he gave me what people call underground hip hop. Like I still got a plethora of work that nobody ever heard. And let me say this, I want to divvy off real quick because sometimes, more often than not, we get associated with the sound that people know.
Right.
So it's a whole lot of people who don't know that you have that versatility, even though you were out slanging work or whatever.
Right.
So real quick, in 2026, to the artists who still do that sound, to the people who mess with Trifecta and DJ Crucial and Canadas and so forth. For some of you who think Skip was only defined by that radio and club sound, I'm letting y'all know he got that sound for y'all too. Yeah. So get at him. I'm telling y'all this because he always had it. That was the sound that I knew him for. And then the radio sound was secondary for me. So.
Well, the thing about that is, I wanted something that, because I would go to the clubs and study.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when I made the Where They At beat, I went to the strip club that night.
Yeah.
But I went to the strip club to really study how the chicks are moving, what the vibe is. So if I'm seeing what the vibe is and then I go home, I can encapsulate that vibe and then make the beat according to what I remember seeing. And so as long as I touch on that from my perspective, not trying to make it sound like somebody else's, but more of what I'm wanting to sound like. As far as if I can do what my job, then it's up to the artist to do theirs to take it there.
Well, you created a sound that I personally think should have been the sound of St. Louis for a window. Yeah. Cause shit, I found myself mixing that and you did a joint with Ruck. I think he was
the star.
Yeah, I'm a star. And then you did the Money with Waisha.
Yeah, the same.
So yeah, like,
I was on a run with that same.
To the point where a couple of people copied your sound.
Yeah.
Like I mixed all that shit together, and I just happened to notice. I'm like, wait a minute, these tracks don't have the Mr. Skipper beat. He didn't do these.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, they copying dude's sound or whatever.
Yeah.
So it definitely,
a lot of that deals with also like on the production side, not really quantizing.
Yeah.
So it's really coming from what my actual spirit is feeling when I'm hitting the pads. It's not coming from a 116 or a 132.
So all of those tracks had a purpose then, meaning I know sometimes, so first off, I've done some production myself, but also just knowing producers, a lot of them will create tracks with an artist in mind. Yours weren't done with an artist in mind. It was just
they was just at the house, at the apartment, just making beats.
Okay. And my other thought,
because remember when I remember I would come to Odie and I would give him a beat CD.
Yeah.
And I remember the beats would be like, it'd be like, because back then on the CD you can put like 70 minutes. So I had like a minute beats.
Yep.
And I had 70 on there. I remember Odie was like, damn, man, how many beats you got?
Yep.
And it would be like 1 minute beats on the CD, and I would give them to him.
I would loop and cut the hell out of some stuff. And we gonna have a song for this.
And me doing what it is I'm doing at that, I'll never forget at that time, I was, this was in 2005. I was selling Dish Network. I was selling cell phones. I was working. I was interning with Shrewd Marketing.
Yeah.
I was delivering pizzas for emos, and I was making beats. And I remember, man. You was like, man, you like a Jamaican, man. You like you know.
Yep,
I had
sure
like
did.
5 different things going.
Yep.
But that's because, you know, when you're chasing your passion, you have to have something to sustain your passion.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just thrive. You can't just live off of your passion if you have nothing to sustain it.
So to all of my aspiring entrepreneurs, and did y'all hear that? When you're chasing your passion, you got to have something to sustain it. There's going to be peaks and valleys.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have something to keep it going.
Like I always tell everybody, I was like, it's okay to want to jump out the airplane, but you got to have a plan. You want to make sure you have a parachute.
Mm-hmm.
Don't just jump out there and think a parachute is going to appear on your back.
Mm-hmm.
No, you're going to hit the ground real hard.
Well, you got to have a plan B, C, D.
Yes, you do.
You really do.
I'm going to ask about one more thing you said, and then I'm going to turn it over to
No, we love it when you're doing the interview because he grew up in the era in which you were that top dog. And this is something that we usually don't get, and I love it.
Top dog. It's a return call. Okay,
no, like literally, like I'm talking like, you got to think, man, I'm 15 years old listening to Magic 108, you know, Pump It or Dump It. They playing, you know, Silk Smooths on Pump It or Dump It, and then you can call in and be like, yo, pump that or dump that. And to hear the name Cool Odie, for me, and, you know, it's like, oh, these guys are on. Like, these guys are. So, you know, to where it becomes where these are thoughts in my head end up becoming my peers years later.
Yeah.
For me, it just kind of is a confirmation, like, from guys like, yo, you know, like, you're supposed to be doing this. But yeah,
you said, Chocolate Tie said, oh, you're a producer.
Yeah.
Define what that means for those who don't understand.
Yeah.
Because I have something. I knew I was going to ask you and Nice about this, but I want your definition.
I mean, like producing, like Pharrell, like Timbaland, like these guys, like producers. We come up in the era of producers. We saw producers. You know what I'm saying? RZA. It's not just about giving an artist a beat a beat CD and they just, or whatever beats, and they just go and record themselves.
Right.
I mean, that can happen, but that's kind of like the easy way.
Right.
You know, producing is like actually having a vision for what we're doing and being there with the artist, even helping the artist get to that point, you know what I'm saying, of where they're trying to go. I never forget when we recorded the Where They At with Jenna, also known as Fresco, and it was a part in the third verse where we're all like kind of collabing like on that verse, on that part. And then I was like, yeah, on that kick right there, have it going doom, 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 you know, have it go, go up. And, you know, just little things like that. So it's like you're producing as you're making the record.
So I get it.
But some artists don't give the producers that leeway. Some artists, they want to do it themselves.
Well, here's the point. I said I knew I had this in my head that we were going to talk about this. I want you and Nice to explain to our younger recording artists, our younger artists, why it's more important for recording artists and music producers to have an official relationship, as opposed to I can just snatch something off of wherever it is and record to. Well, I'm gonna say wherever, because we know there are multiple sites. Yeah. But let's give us your version of why having a relationship is better. And I also would like Nice, because I'm sure Nice has produced music for other people as well. Why that working relationship is better than just snatching stuff off of somewhere.
I mean, well, you know, it's like with anything, man. I mean, you can take the stairs to get to success, or you can take the elevator. Like, when you take the stairs, you appreciate it better. So when you link with an artist and really do some stuff, and you all have a relationship, you all are building that foundation. It's like you all are in a way, becoming, partners.
Mm-hmm.
And that just makes the songs just come out better, because, you know what I mean? Like, versus it just being from a cookie cutter perspective of just, here go a beat. Maybe you may pay me, you may not, but go and record it, and I don't even really know you. Now, that's why, like, even today when I do that with different artists, I have to call them and talk to them on the phone. Like, we got to, like, have a conversation.
Get a feel for their personality.
You know yeah. Just to kind of, I can see where they are, because you may get them on the phone and they could be awkward and socially awkward and, not want to talk, or I'm from the old school. We got to talk, you know what I'm saying? So I call.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And again, you haven't, have had, whichever the case, your own label, in which y'all manufacture product or whatever. My assumption is that you provided music for more than yourself. So kinda. What, you just play the beats and say, get on this?
I feel like I have to know who I'm producing for.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's
like, I put so much into making a beat, and if I just give it to somebody and they put out some doo doo, I'm pissed.
Right.
Like,
well,
I'm gonna want to resell that beat.
That's the artist in y'all. That's the producer, but that's also the artist in y'all too. Where and trust me, I get it. I appreciate hearing that, because a lot of music producers or beat makers, whichever.
There's like what he said, how he described the producer. Mm-hmm. That's a producer. Like, there's a difference between a beat maker.
Oh, no doubt.
There's people that make beats but they don't have a vision for a song.
That's what I was gonna say. A lot of beat makers don't have it in them to tell an artist.
Yeah.
No, man, that don't sound right.
Yeah, artists are more of a producer than the beat maker in some cases.
Yeah, like, for instance, like, I'll just make beats, right? But it's also good if you have like a songwriter.
No doubt.
That is on deck. That's how I got the Chris Brown placement.
Okay.
Was it 10 years ago?
Y'all didn't know about that? Okay,
definitely gonna have to hit on that, because I'm clueless.
Yeah. So what was it? This was this month, 2016, and I was going through maybe like a couple days where I was like kind of like in a funk, like a depressed funk, because I wanted to snap my fingers and be where I am now in the TV and film world. But I was still in that grind to get to where I am, right? And so but I wanted that instant, like right now. Mm-hmm. And so, I'm very spiritual. in that sense. And so Spirit spoke to me and was like, hey, you know, sleep with the Bible. So I lay with the Bible and just prayed about it. The next day, voice spoke to me and said, listen, I got you covered with the hair. I need for you to get back to the music. Because I wasn't really focusing on the music. I was focusing on what I need to do to get in this TV and film world as a barber, hairstylist. And so this chat group that I'm in, my homeboy Derek was like, he said, has anybody remember the song Lose Control from the group Silk? And I was like, yeah. I said, me and my girlfriend back in high school, we broke up to that song. Like, that's one of the songs where I hear I get sad. And he was like, it'd be dope if somebody sampled it. So I went to the barbershop that day. I left. I came back home. I made the beat. And I knew I had something when I was laying in the bed looking at the ceiling and I can just hear the beat on loop for like an hour and it didn't feel like an hour. That's when I knew, like, okay, this is something. That next day, my homeboy Ryan Toby, he's a songwriter. He was in the group City High.
Yeah.
He was also the kid from Sister Act that did the Oh Happy Day.
Okay.
He called me and he's like, yo man, what you doing? And I was like, yeah man, just over here working on some music. He was like, bring it through. Now keep in mind, he lived like around the corner from me this time. So I could walk to his house. So I said, yeah, I'll come by tomorrow. He was like, bet. I go by there. I have about 5 beats and I play all 5 beats. He was like, man, I want to write to this one. I was like, all right, bet. So I went home, got the stems, emailed him the stems. That Saturday, he texts me and says, check your email. I go to my email. He wrote and recorded to the song, to the beat, a whole song. My girl heard it. She's like, babe, that's a hit. I'm like, yeah, that's a hit, right?
Yeah.
And I would say maybe 2 weeks later on a Sunday, I'm at the crib eating Fruit Loops, watching Three Stooges on YouTube. And he texts me and he says, Chris Brown's recording the song tonight. And I'm like, what?
Say it again.
Chris Brown's recording the song tonight.
Say it one more time.
Chris Brown's recording the song tonight.
I had him repeat it 3 times because when you say
like,
Chris Brown, panties get moist. So
I'm like, what the hell? So for about a week goes, and I'm like hitting him up, like, so is it going on his album? Like, what's this? He was like, I don't know yet.
But you knew it was legit.
Yeah, because he's like, he's recording it. And so then this was the day I was at the barbershop, I get a text from him. This is the day before Drake's Views album came out. He texts me and says, the song's coming out on his mixtape tomorrow. Here are the splits. And the next day, the song comes out. I was on Dat Piff and it dropped. Right. And my first time hearing it at the house with Chris Brown singing it, my beat. And, you know, I still get paid from that song every month.
Yes, sir.
Ever since.
What was your reaction the moment you heard it?
It literally felt like Christmas morning, man. You know, like as a kid, when you go to bed,
I know that's
sleep, right. And you trying to wake up and maybe it's there, maybe it's not, you know, it was one of those moments, man. So that song's on YouTube. It plays on Pandora. So that was a moment right there. But that kind of showed me that whatever's supposed to happen for you will, because I did not try to do that. But I think that all the years of constantly working and making beats and doing what I need to do, trying to get artist beats and blah, 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 blah. It's like, so if you continue to keep doing that and keep picking that and keep going, something's gonna
pop.
Gonna wind around. But I think also it's just more of placing yourself in the opportunity.
Yeah.
In the position of opportunity, because I mean, if I was still here in St. Louis, I don't know if it would have happened like that, because how I even met Ryan was a random day of me going to 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
And I just see him inside 7-Eleven.
Was Ryan, he was already in the movie, so he already had a recognizable face to you at that time?
Yeah, from City High. It's crazy because the day before, I'm on Wikipedia and I happen to look him up. I'm like, man, I wonder what happened to that guy. And I look him up.
That's dope.
Yeah,
that is
and I'm
so
reading up
dope.
on the day before, and then I have go into the 7-Eleven, and because it was me and my homeboy went to this taco spot. We left and went to the 7-Eleven across from there because I wanted to get these cookies. And when I went in there, they didn't have the cookies. I said, you know what? Maybe if I go down the street to that 7-Eleven, they'll have them. When I went in there he was. So I went in there and got the cookie and cookies, whatever. And I came to the front counter and I said, hey man, ain't you Ryan told the guy from City High that he was all like, yeah. I said, oh, you a songwriter? He said, yeah. I said, I produce music too. He was like, okay, that's what's up. I said, but I'm also a barber. He said, oh man, I'm looking for a barber.
That's what's up.
So I had my business card and I gave him my card. And then like a week later, he was like, yo, you at the shop? And he came by the shop and I started cutting his hair and we just maintained a friendship for like a year before I even was like, hey, let's do, work on any music. He was excited to hear me talk about the music that I make without even asking him about music.
Okay.
He was, because I was always creating, you know what I mean?
That's what's up.
Hey, yo, what up, everybody? This your man, King Odie, holding it down in the studio with the rest of the Grinded Up crew. My man, Stice, Nice, and Mauer are all here.
Yeah.
We just want to give a shout out to everybody who's been supporting us on Ko-fi. Stay tuned in, please. Kick your donations down because your donations are helping us grow, and we're gonna have a lot of stuff for you in the future. We lots of prizes, gifts, and so on and so forth. It's all love. Grinding Up crew. Look at that.
Better equipment. Yeah.
No doubt. We definitely appreciate y'all, man. You'll catch footage, behind the scene footage that you're not gonna see on all the other platforms. So stay tuned, stay locked up. Stay locked into us. Ko-fi. We love y'all, all right?
Oh, yeah, that was fun. He said,
Stay locked up.
yeah, he said, stay locked up.
That's amazing. Like, for real.
I got a question.
Yeah.
So around 2010 is when you went out to Cali, right?
In March of 2010.
Yeah. So did you have to eventually familiarize yourself with the LA gangster?
With the vibe?
Yeah.
So when I first moved out to LA, I was living in Inglewood. So my cousin, a friend of mine told me, he said, man, look, if you want to leave St. Louis and you have to find an opening to be able to move. So I was like, all right, let me hit my cousin up. And I was like, hey, and I haven't seen her from at this point since we were in like 12 years old.
That's what's up.
Here I am, it's 20 years later. I'm 33 years old.
She's giving you
31 or whatever, you know? And she was like, yeah, you can sleep on my couch. So that was my opening. So went out to LA and yeah, man, living in Inglewood. I mean, it's crazy because when you get there, it doesn't look like everything looks, you know what I'm saying? Palm trees, sunny, but it can get wild. So for me, I guess because they knew that I wasn't from there, I never got approached in that way. I believe God was looking out for me in that sense.
No doubt.
And I came out there, I was in a red Grand Prix, but I had my Missouri plates, so they weren't really like, checking, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I just wanted to know that because you heard a lot about like the colors.
Yeah.
Thing and
yeah.
Not sure how.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, in Inglewood, that's a blood area, so they weren't. I guess because I had the red Grand Prix, they weren't really tripping.
Was that coincidence?
The red Grand Prix. I had the red Grand Prix before I even moved.
Okay,
it's just, but yeah,
that's smart.
So that on that Where They At.
Mm-hmm.
Produced for Jenna.
Yeah.
Did you have to get any type of clearance with the Lil Wayne sample?
I didn't deal with that part of it. That was Wally. And so they had did a remake of it and put Conjure on the hook. So for a moment there, Conjure was on the hook.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess it wasn't really hitting the way it was with the Lil Wayne version. So they just continued the Lil Wayne version.
That's what happened.
Yeah, but I don't know what happened more of that or.
I don't even think I heard the other version.
I got it. Yeah. I think all three of them know. All three of y'all know him as Jenna, right?
Yeah.
We went to school.
Greg.
Okay, yeah, I thought so.
I went in his mom and them crib. Baby.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Fresco.
So did you get to work with him on that song, like in the studio as he recorded?
Yeah, with Fresco?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He recorded pretty fast, don't he?
Yeah. No, Fresco, I told Fresco, him and Ryan they're both both of them are the ones who inspired me to get back on the mic and to be able to record myself and as like a mad scientist again. Seeing them in action, it just inspired me. I was more so got back into just doing the beats versus like pressing record and getting in front of the mic and recording myself and doing. I stopped that for a while, but seeing them two in action, it kind of inspired me to be like, all right, let me go forward with this some more.
So I didn't know you had a past history of being an artist. I like early, you dropped an EP or something like that in the past 2 years. I want to say it was. I want to say you did a collab project with somebody.
With Ed O.G.
Right, there we go. Okay. How can I forget that?
From Ed O.G. and the Bulldogs.
We was on the same label. I'm saying, how the fuck can I forget that?
Yeah, Ed O.G.
Yeah, that's my man. I'm tripping.
So, yeah, Ed O.G., I met Ed O.G. out here. So in 2005, I was working at Emo's. And, you know, on Friday nights when they would have live at Blueberry Hill on 88.1 with Fly DX.
Yeah. Shout out to Fly.
So they was hosting it, and Ed O.G. had a show that night. And he was like, yeah, we got Ed O.G. down here. I said, man, I'm about to, as soon as I got off work, I went down to Blueberry Hill and went to that show. And when I went there, I hollered at Ed O.G. and got his information, and we just stayed in contact ever since. And so fast forward, what was that, late 2022, I hit him up and said, yo, we should do a project together. And he was like, let's do it.
He cool as shit.
And so that's out now, Rap Artifacts.
Yes.
And we did the music video for it and everything, for one of the songs.
That's something else we got in common. We both worked at Emo's.
Oh, you worked at Emo's? Which ones you work at? What would you?
And then Cahokia, and then South County, right there by the mall.
You were driver?
Nah.
You was in there cooking? You was in there doing the pieces? Yeah, I was out there driving, man, delivering. I delivered for Emo's for about a good 5 to 6 years, man, until I started barber school.
Missouri, what was it called? Missouri
what?
Missouri school of...
Boy, you know about that, man?
I told you, always looking up something. Stice the fans, dog. It's all right. It is what it is.
You know what I'm saying? You had the braids, you know what I'm saying? You did a little...
Man, hold on a minute, man. What's up, man? How you...
So I want to ask...
He's doing it to everybody. So Holly, be forewarned.
You know your blood type before you
wow,
knew.
That's wild. Okay.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that because you was doing it. You was basically in front of the camera, and there was a lady, and she was talking about the N word.
Yeah. That video. Yeah. Elise. That was her name. Yes, Elise.
Yeah, you say your take on the N bomb still the same?
Man, I don't even know, man. I don't even know. You know what, man? Well, it's different for my surroundings now. Being out there in LA, you got the Hispanics. They'll say it, you know what I'm saying? And I just remember, just hearing it. It's just like, it's like, you kind of like, but it's whatever with me, I don't even like really like, dwell on it too much. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's what's up, man. I got a question, man.
Mm-hmm.
So, you went on the song title, Now.
Now, which one was that now?
Yeah, you had a verse, man. You had some words that say, no more cutting in the barbershop.
Yeah.
Waiting to get hot. Now I'm cutting VIP. 250 a spot. Yeah. So yeah, man, tell me what that mean.
So we talking about the barber. We gonna start on that.
We're on the barber. Let's do it.
On that line.
That line was mostly me just speaking on, like, at that particular moment. It wasn't about me cutting in the barbershop anymore, because now I'm in the TV and film industry. So if anything, I have my own private studio. So that's why I was saying, like,
salute, man.
Yeah.
Salute.
So I was saying now it's about that.
And that song Lessons, that's my joint.
Man, I appreciate that, man. Lessons, man, that the vibe of that came into play, man, after my dad passed. Matter of fact, that album, what was it? Mind Therapy. That album. Yeah. So I was like kind of going, I was, just thinking about life. My dad had just passed that fall 2022. Other things were going on. And so I recorded the Don King Theory album, but then that next year I recorded Mind Therapy, that album. And that song Lessons, it was just more so thinking about my old dude. I don't know, it's like I can break down the rhymes. I had to just be in that space of just, you know what I'm saying?
Well, hold on, because I've heard the Don King theory, Mind Therapy, and of course, Rap Artifact. This is past 2020?
Yeah.
Okay.
That you got 10 years, the 10 years EP. I recorded.
Again, I'm feeling fucked up because all this time I didn't know you over 20 plus.
Yeah.
Never knew until Rap Artifacts. I never knew that you had the pen or whatever. So when and how did that part start?
When I started back with like recording and doing when I got my studio out there. When I got my studio out there, I had free will at that point. That was during the pandemic. That was January of 2020.
Okay.
I was able to just freely record whenever I wanted to.
No, wait a minute. So, wait a minute. Did you function as an artist at all when you were here?
Like I said, I was more in the background.
Okay.
I was more just like...
Yeah, because I'm sitting there like, man, wait a minute. How the hell didn't I know that?
Yeah, I wasn't really like focusing on the music, on the rap part.
Okay.
Or just the artistry part. I was more... But see, that's what led to this song now.
That's what I was about to... Yeah. The anthem.
Yeah, the From the Lou.
And we gonna get it to where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, the From the Lou joint. When I heard about the tornado that happened out here, and I saw the destruction that it caused, and I was like, and I found out the areas that it hit, and I was like, man, I need to do something like from a music standpoint to kind of build the people up in those areas to feel good about something, like to hear something to feel good, like. So that's why in the part one I mentioned the areas that was affected by the tornado.
Yeah.
4 points, then you.
Yep, three.
Oh, that's dope. I was like, damn.
Yeah, 3.
I had only heard 1 at first.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned Central West End, Forest Park. So anyway, I was heading to the studio. This was last early May. I was heading to the studio and I was listening to Sirius XM radio, and I was listening to the 2010 hits, urban hit, hip hop and R&B, and I was listening, just kind of studying the old songs, the Right There and Jaquan's Tipsy, and being from the city, I'm just kind of listening, like what made these songs hot back then, right? And when Nelly's Country Grammar song came on, and that. Then what? I'm from the loop.
Yeah.
And that part always stood out to everybody that's from St. Louis that hear that part. When you hear that part, no matter where you are in the world, you feel a way. Like, I'm from the loop and I'm proud. So because we had the technology to get the stems, to do stems now with the technology, I said, man, I'm going to take that same feeling that I heard when I did the Where They At and all that. It hit me again. The Silk Loose Control, the Chris Brown, it hit me. And I was like, I gotta go to the studio right now. And I went to the studio, I stemmed that out, and I just looped the I'm from the loop and I'm proud. I'm from the loop and I'm proud. I had that on loop, and I just built the beat around that. The whole beat. And then when I did that, then I took out the hook. So now it's just the beat. And I just kept, I'm from the loop. I'm from the loop. And then that's when I was like, I had an idea for an artist.
I was about to go there.
I had the idea for an artist. And so I sent it to that artist, and they procrastinated. And I'm like, I'm ready to do right now. If I send it to you today, I want something back tomorrow. It wasn't that. And then I had the same idea for another artist, and I told them. They said, "Man, what do you want me to do on it?" And I said, "Just name like different areas in the city. Just say I'm Florissant." And I sent it, and it's like, I don't know. I said, listen, I'll do a reference of it and let you hear it.
Yeah.
And so I went to the studio that next day and did the vocals. And as I was doing the song, I said, you know what? I'm gonna use this for me.
Yeah.
Forget all that.
That's right.
And the rest is history.
So to you recording artists out there, imagine that. Imagine receiving a track from an accomplished producer. And they've done the luxury of giving you where the song needs to go. And you still like
do it.
Yeah.
Well, you know the thing about it, man, is like some people they may not hear it, but they may not be ready to do it. You know what I'm saying? So I can't fault someone for whatever time they're on. But I knew the time that I'm on. And I'm like, I'm in the space of let's go.
So let me say this too, because I've seen this a lot where everyone doesn't necessarily hear a track the same. I got partners who, excuse me, I know a few people who are their own producer, writer, so forth. And there's been a couple of times that somebody got an idea out of a track that I said, damn, I would have never thought, you know what I mean, to go that way or to get this, that, or the other out of it. So I understand that. But again, this was one, and I'm gonna be honest with you. When I first got it, I shared it with a couple of people because I knew I was feeling something. I shared it with a couple of people who, again, didn't hear what I heard. You know, I was on some, fuck that, I'm putting a rhyme to this bitch. I ain't gonna lie, I was gonna put a rhyme on it and send it back to you. But then I got sidetracked with other shit. But yeah, I get that. It's one of those, everyone doesn't always hear something.
Yeah, and the thing is, because I record so much music, I knew I had to, it's like what they say, capturing lightning in a bottle. I knew I had to do this right now because in the next 2 days, I'm going to be on something else.
Yeah.
So let me do this right now to get this energy and this right here tucked, and that's done. I don't have to revisit it. So when I did it, that first one, then Finster was like, he let somebody hear it, and they were like, man, why ain't he mention this area or this area? I said, well, Finster, send me names that I should say. And he texted me other areas, and I said, I'm going to do 2 more parts. And then I went in and recorded those 2 other parts.
So it had to be the third one, because even after I heard 2, I was still, which one is the one where you finally name the JVL and all
that's
that?
The third
that's 3?
That's the third one.
That's
Charlie Parr.
Hold on, remember I told y'all, I said, oh man, fuck this, I'm putting a rhyme on that motherfucker, I'm gonna send it to him. This been recent. Cause I was still, I had a vision in my head that skipped and left out. This is how I heard it. But I said, this motherfucker done left out the city. I was like, he named all the counties. So I was going to put a rhyme together and name all the city parts. And then I finally heard it.
Yeah.
I said, okay, he got it. He took care of it. Fuck
yeah, it's taken care of. It's taken care of, you know. But I recorded that last May. And
and that,
it's one of those songs to me, man, even when I hear it, I'm like, wow, I did that. You know what I mean? Like I'm past it, you know what I'm saying?
So, but okay, that brings the fact that you did it last May, and I told y'all he did it last, I think I got it in July. That brings us to a topic that you may not be aware is going on here now, but you've been in this long enough to know about this. There seems to be a festering kind of artist versus DJs thing. I don't know if
I didn't know nothing about it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna put it to you in a different way. It's my personal opinion that when every DJ, it has all the makings of an anthem, hometown anthem, whatever, so on and so forth. There's no reason, because I haven't been on a spinning platform. I haven't DJed publicly really since 94, any of that shit. And I'm an old head. I shouldn't be anywhere near responsible for getting this song out. Now don't get it twisted. I'm about to fix some shit and change some shit and all that. But I'm saying myself, Cut, Chance, Snow, the upper tier older guy, we shouldn't have to. when there are younger DJs who I'm not gonna name any of them, but there is 35 and under littered in these spots. I'm saying when somebody gives you an anthem, that's not whack. We shouldn't be almost at May again, and y'all didn't hop all over this song. That's my personal opinion.
Mm-hmm.
From what you saw when you were here. So now we
for 314?
Period. What you saw when you lived here.
Oh, yeah.
Son of a bitch. Let me see here.
From when I lived here, what?
Well, this is what I was going to ask. Because the situation still exists. It's just the newer artists now understand or they're taking an approach of the DJs aren't as needed. We can say that the market has declined. Yeah. The market has declined and recording artists have more options. However, do you think, in being honest, from what you know, you may not know much since you've been gone, but prior to when you were here, do you have any feeling that maybe the hometown guys could have, I'm talking about the DJs, I'm not talking about the artists yet, could have done a better job at trying to support the artist? What's your take on
support the artists?
Yes.
I mean, we're in a different day and age, man. I mean, artists nowadays, I mean, let me tell you this, man. You know what I'm saying? You have to pay to play, man. You know what I'm saying? You got to be you as long as you do your due diligence in what it is that you do. I mean, you know, like, I mean, you can't put your success on someone else's shoulders. You have to be able to do the work yourself and continue to do the work. And you can't look to anyone else to do anything for you. No one's going to give you any handouts in this, man.
I agree with you wholeheartedly.
You know,
but there's a but to it. What is the job of what's the job of the DJ? What's your version of the job of the DJ?
Play songs.
How do you determine what songs you play?
There's a lot of songs for DJs to play. There's so many songs out here nowadays for DJs to play. How can they determine what to play?
I can answer that easily. The popular stuff is obvious if you're DJing somewhere live where people want to hear popular music. Mm-hmm. Once you're outside of that, you now have platforms that you can play whatever the hell you want to. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm not going to name any particular DJs yet. And I say yet because you motherfuckers can rest assured I'm going to name you at some point. But I've had, and I need you to feel me when I say this, because I can't wrap my head around, I know when I hear bullshit wrapped in bullshit, okay? Mm-hmm. I've had the same people who told me, I looked up to you. You were this, that, or the other to me. You set a template, whatever variation of it. The same people tell me in 2024 and 2025, oh man, I don't break music. We're not talking about on the radio. We're not talking about at the nightclub. Mm-hmm. How can you say you looked up to me when that's all I did was break music? Yeah. That's who I am. Mm. You know what I'm saying? So to say I don't break music, or man, I'm not going to be sifting. I heard this too. I'm not going to be just sifting, going through a whole bunch of music, trying to find stuff. That's what the fuck a DJ does. What are you talking about?
You know what, man? I think certain songs will I feel like cream rises to the top, man. So whatever song, I feel like I like things to be organic and to happen organically.
No doubt.
So if one DJ plays it at the certain time and another DJ here like, yo, what's that?
Exactly.
I'm cool with it growing little legs and
catching fire.
Yes, I'm cool with it. I don't need for it to be just, I don't care if the song in 5 years now it's popping. Like, it's not about me.
I'm not saying that.
You know, no, I'm just saying, like, the song wasn't about me. I'm not trying to get a record deal. I'm not trying to, this was just the love. This was the kid in me recording a song for the city and make it something that could be listened to and play. And
but you happen to make one.
Yeah.
You made one.
Yeah.
That I'm looking at y'all and I'm telling y'all, the other DJs should have gotten it. And we are almost a year later from a hometown song that obviously has anthem potential. They didn't have to do nothing. But I'm not saying like you're supposed to be upset, and I wasn't using your song as the template for the conversation. You just happen to take it there. But I'm saying that mindset, that's a toxic mindset. Even when you said pay to play, I understand that barrier and that barometer exist in places.
Yeah.
But when first off, in 2026, St. Louis isn't what it was in 2006.
Right.
Let's start there.
Yeah.
This market has declined in music and entertainment for a lot of reasons. So we have to rise back up. We can't rise if I'm making a bullshit excuse for the hometown artists not to play them. There's no, you know what I'm saying? I'm being realistic.
No.
The question that I throw at them is, okay, so how many people in your regular playlist paid you? I just leave it at that. I'll come to your club and listen to you spin, and you tell me how many people. Beyonce didn't play you. Chris Brown didn't play you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So what the fuck are we talking about?
I don't even know, man. I guess for me, I'm not even. I mean, and I guess because this is what goes on in the city. I haven't been around to even.
And I apologize to y'all, but every time we get an artist, a DJ, and producer, I'm going there. I'm fucking going there.
I feel and appreciate your love for that, man. You know what I'm saying? Definitely, I really do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you something too about the West Coast music scene. Have you had, outside of Ryan, I clearly can't say have you had time to assess, because 15 to 16 years you've had a chance to assess it. Do you have relationships with artists out there who you're working, and they could be smaller independents? I'm just saying, have you had time to work with any people, or kind of keep to yourself?
I kind of, like I said, man, I work in the TV and film world, man. So I've been working on music for TV and film as well.
No doubt.
So I'm not really.
No, that's all good. That's all good.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, that's cool to link with an artist if that's what happens. You know, it's crazy. I met Kendrick Lamar right before he blew up.
Wow.
That's what's up.
I met Kendrick Lamar, what was it, man? It was August of 2010. And I had just got out there in that March, and I was June, I started working at Walgreens, and I was working graveyard shift. And I was downloading music from that piff to my my MP3 player, because this was before Wi-Fi, before Spotify. So I was loading my MP3 player up with music so I can listen to when I'm working graveyard. And I went on there and looked up West Coast artists, whatever, and I ran across Kendrick Lamar, one of his mixtapes. And I'm listening to him like, yo, this cat's dope, because this stuff was sounding like an album. And so I told my homeboy about him. I was put him on this dude. Like, man, check this cat out. So anyway, one day he said, hey, man, your boy's going to be performing at this bar in Hollywood called the Blue Monkey. And I was like, oh, word. So
nice name.
I went over there. I went to the club. I would say the lounge was probably about the size of 2 of these rooms.
Okay. With
the bar, and there was people in there, and he was like in the corner, just standing right there rapping.
Okay.
And he was short. I could hear him, but I couldn't see him. So I'm looking, then he finishes and he comes walking through the crowd. And I was like, hey, what's going on, man? My name's Skip, man. Woo, woo. I said, I produce, blah, blah. I got beats. He said, yo, take my email down. So I got his email. I had a beer, and he was like, yeah, hit me up. So he leaves. I finished my beer, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm finna leave too. I'm not finna be here. So as I'm walking out the back way, he's standing by the gate, this little gate.
Yeah.
And he's by himself. And I said, hey man, that song that you did, you was talking about your dad, and it was a song called What You Heard or I Want to Be Heard.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, you talked about your dad, and then he was like, yeah. I was like, man, I felt that line. He was like, man, appreciate it, man. I said, yeah, man, Soundwave, man, he a dope producer. He said, yeah, Soundwave right there. And so I went over to Soundwave. I was like, man, what's good, man? And was talking to him. So then I walked back over to him and like, yeah, man, we was just chopping up for a quick minute. He was like, man, take my number down. So I took his number down. He was like, hit me up. So I think 2 days later, I hit him up, called the number, and he picked it up, and it was like he was in like the booth. So I can hear him, you know, when someone picks the phone up and doing something, and I can hear him in the booth rapping. And some said, just listen. So I was listening. And he was like rapping. And after about 30 seconds, I was like, all right, let me hang up. It's getting kind of weird now.
Yeah.
So I hung up. And I say like 2 months later, Dr. Dre co-signed him on the radio and he blew up. And then my email ended up getting hacked. So I lost contact with even his email to even send beats. But it's crazy because it's like every time I see him, I think about like, damn. So maybe one day I'll run back into him.
No doubt.
You know what I'm saying? And mention that. But for the most part, man, right now I'm in the process of doing sync licensing music, and I've had a placement on a HBO Max documentary that's out called "This Place Rules."
Okay,
and my music was the theme song of that documentary.
Wow,
comes on, yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
I love that too. Again, in this festering situation, I always look and say that music producers always have the widest business knowledge. Again, going artist, producer, DJ, or whatever. So, yeah, I love the fact that you're sharing that.
I don't too much really focus too much also that much on artists when I can just make my own AI artists, man.
Yeah, that's true. We're there.
That leads to a question.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when that song Right in Front of Us.
Yeah.
That ain't you singing, is it?
No. So
that's a fire song.
Well, that's the soundtrack. So what happened was when Sora just came about, not Sora, Suno just came about that last May. It was around, but when they did that update and the quality was great, and I'm like, what the hell? I wanted to implement it in a way where I could put my beats into it.
Oh, excuse me.
Bless you. I can put my beats into it and actually make these songs. So I was like, how can I go about this the right way without feeling guilty like I'm cheating or something like that, right? So I was like, I can just build an ecosystem musically of what's the word? Fictionalized movies with fictionalized soundtracks.
Okay.
So remember back in the day when you would hear like the Boys in the Hood soundtrack or like Trespass soundtrack or Waiting to Exhale soundtrack, people gravitated towards soundtracks. So my mind was thinking, how can I utilize AI to build this ecosystem of fictional soundtracks based on fictional movies? Mm-hmm. And so I was like, I'm going to make this soundtrack about this movie called Right in Front of Us, about 4 friends that grew up together and ended up going off into the world looking for love and ended up finding out that the love was right there in front of them. And so that's why I called it Right in Front of Us. And I based the songs would be like the soundtrack music that was based on the movie. So I did that. So those songs was my music put into Suno with the lyrics collab with ChatGPT.
Mm-hmm.
And I put that product out. And by me doing that, that's when I dropped my alias Jason Chandler under an AI as an AI artist as well. And that album's called Paradise. So I got 2 AI projects that are out.
What's up, y'all? It's Mark from Grind It Up Podcast, and I have something that I got to tell you about. So if you want to see the exclusive, the behind the scenes of stuff that we can't air on regular stuff, Ko-fi.com. You can hit us with a tip, do any little donation like that, whatever you want. It's just all going to go to us improving our setup and making things look even better for you. And you get the exclusive content that nobody else gets. So check it out.
You mentioned you slept with your Bible one night, you know what I'm saying, and it sparked the idea. So did you
just more so build peace, just to incorporate some type of peace for my spirit in that moment. You know, it was like it was more so like champagne problems. It wasn't really like, it's like I just wanted to snap my finger to be where I am now.
Yeah. So did you go to a Christian school from the kindergarten?
Yeah, in grade school. Yeah, I went to a Christian school, North County Christian School in Ferguson.
I feel like you knew that question already.
Yeah, so I was just wondering.
You knew this,
just checking your facts.
He knew this.
What was the difference between the Christian school and
the public school? Growing up, man, we would have to learn Bible verses, quote scriptures from Bible verses and things of that nature. We had service every Friday, you know, at school. And yeah, you know, it was a small school, North County Christian School in Ferguson.
What's up, man?
But yeah, we pray like every morning, you know.
Got to go to religion class and everything.
It wasn't really a religion class. It was still regular, like, you know, math and science, you know, stuff like that. But we just incorporated Bible verses into the daily routine, and we all had Bibles.
So whenever you start, well, you were doing this the whole time. When did you doing the film industry, being a barber for people, when did it really take off? And who was the first name where you were like, oh, I'm on now?
So that's funny to say. So I started cutting hair in 1990, spring 1990. So it's been 36 years. And
Wow.
And so in 96 I stopped because I was more focused on producing. Stopped for 10 years from 96 to 2006. And then I was cutting maybe two friends of mine cutting their hair. And one of my homeboys was like, man, you know, at that time I'm delivering pizzas, selling Dish Network, DirecTV, selling cell phones, doing all kind of stuff, right? Amazing. And so my homeboy was like, man, why not, you've been cutting hair all this time, why not go to barber school? And I was like, yeah, you know what, maybe you're right. So to this day, I still hit him up and thank him, because if he never would have brought that to my attention, I never would have thought about doing that, especially back in 2006. But anyway, in 2011, I started working in a barbershop in Sherman Oaks. And when I went in there, the thing about it was, before I even get to that, I was interning for this lady, because I knew like I needed to do something to get myself out there into the entertainment world of some sort, right? So if I'm interning with this lady, she had a blog company, and so I would go to her and be there for 7 days, and then on the other 7 days I was working at Walgreens. Anyway, I did this for 6 months, and every time I went, I'm like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? But for some reason, something just kept saying, just keep doing it. Anyway, one day I was leaving, it was at night, I was leaving her place, and I busted a left onto Ventura Boulevard. And people that'll watch this out there in LA, they'll know what I'm talking. They'll be like, oh, no, he's talking about, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So I bust a left on Ventura Boulevard. I'm going down on Ventura Boulevard in Sherman Oaks, and I see a barbershop open, a black barbershop on my right-hand side. The lights were on. I'm seeing barbers in there, and they're dressed up in dress shirts and ties. And I said, what? It was a black barbershop. And I'm like, it's a black barbershop over here? And I'm like, I said, next time I come through here, if it's open, I'm going to go in there. So a week goes by, I go to work at Walgreens. I come back, I'm interning with the lady. I leave that day. I bust that left again. I look over, the light is on. I said, okay. I pull over, go inside, ask for the owner. He's like, yeah, he's not here, but here goes his card. So he gave me a card. One of the barbers gave me a card. Talked to him. He said, yeah, well, when can you come in? I said, I can come in tomorrow. He said, all right, come in tomorrow. So I go in there the next day. And he was like, yeah, the first person that come in here, I'm going to have you cut him, see what you do. As soon as I walk in there, I see Big Worm, Faison Love.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
on the couch. So I'm like, what the hell? So he's sitting on the couch. I introduced myself to him, said, what's up to the owner. And so anyway, the guy comes in, just a random walk in. I cut his hair. Then afterwards, the owner was like, all right, when can you start? I was like, whenever. He said, okay, you start tomorrow. So I called the lady that I was interning with. I said, yeah, I appreciate, you having me, with you for the past 6 months, but I just got a job at this barbershop.
Yeah.
So I can't come intern with you anymore.
Question.
Mhm.
That lady wasn't Dr. Lee, was it? Vicky Lee, was it?
No.
Okay.
Oh man, that's so she passed away.
Oh.
Yeah, she passed. But so the next day she was like, you know what? She's like, usually you have to give like a 30-day notice to stop interning with me, but because I like you, I'll let you go ahead and go. So the next day I go in, and when I go in there, the other barbers in there, keep in mind, everybody's wearing dress shirts, ties, haircuts of $30.
Okay.
They're doing shaves, all of this stuff, right?
Mhm.
And the guys come up to me, they say, you're not starstruck, are you? I was like, no. I said, all right, just letting you know, because a lot of them come in here.
Yeah.
So I was like, man, I'm from St. Louis, man. I ain't starstruck off none of that, So anyway, so I'm up in there, and everybody was coming in there, man, from Antoine Fuqua, bunch of people, and it was like I'm paying this booth rent, but it was like I'm paying this booth. I'm working at Walgreens and working there, and I'm leaving there, so I was like I'm robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Yeah.
But I'm doing that because I'm feeling like, like when you pay to go to a panel to see people speak on a panel. I feel like I was paying weekly to get people in my chair that could possibly change
your
my
life. Yeah.
So I did that for 6 months, just kind of pushing through. And then one day, the owner of the shop says, hey, Skip, Blair Underwood's coming in at 5:30 and you cutting him. I said, okay. So then, boom, 5:30, Blair comes in. He's like, yeah, I'm here for Skip. I said, I'm at my station. I'm like, yeah, I'm over here. And he walks up to me, says, you Skip? And I said, yeah. We dap up. I started cutting his hair from that day forward. Now, keep in mind, this is the guy I remember from Crush Groove.
Yeah.
I'm from the
Playing
8-year-old kid that had my first hip hop records that I bought. What my mom bought for me was the Fat Boys Are Back and the Crush Groove soundtrack on vinyl.
Yeah.
So here, and as a kid, I'm looking at the front cover and seeing Fat Boys, Sheila E., Run DMC, Curtis Blow. Who else was on that front cover? Fat Boys, whatever. But I'm like, but who is it? Curtis Blow. But I'm like, but who is this dude in the middle? And then I flipped the back and I'm reading starring Blair Underwood. So here it is, this guy that I saw as a kid, he's sitting in my chair and I'm cutting his hair. Fast forward, 2 years later, I'm still cutting his hair. He asked me, he says, I got a show that I'm gonna start filming called Ironside on NBC. Would you want to be my barber for it? I was like, yeah. So that show, it was him in a wheelchair. So I would go and cut his hair in his trailer, and then I would walk to set with him. So I'm walking on the stage on the Universal lot. So I'm in his trailer, and then I think he was Lou Diamond Phillips was there. So it was me. So it's him, me in the middle, and Lou Diamond Phillips, and I'm walking with them to the stage, and I'm just thinking like, man, what's going on here?
Yes, sir.
So this black lady, she comes up and talks to Blair, and she looks at me and she's like, you ever thought about joining the union? And I was like, the union, what's that? She's like, the hair and makeup union. I was like, yeah, where do I sign up? She's like, no, it doesn't work like that. She's like, you need to go back. Do you have a hairstylist license, Cosmo license? I was like, no. She said, you need to get that. So by me going to set and being Blair's personal barber on set, I was able to have conversations and talk with a lot of people and kind of gain some awareness of what this union is, this hair and makeup union. And so yeah, when people ask me that question, Blair Underwood is who introduced me to the TV and film world, because when the show finally aired and me being out there, and when I announced it on Facebook or whatever, people would be like, oh, I saw the show. And so it was like now my work was being seen by people back that I know back here in St. Louis, and that felt good. And I was like, oh, hold on a minute. I think I like this, you know. It felt like producing. It felt like hearing a song that I did on the radio or hear a song and I hear it in the club. It was that same type of feeling.
That lead to another question.
Wait, to his ex. How you like me now? Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, so when you go back to do the cosmetology thing, did you say you failed like 7 times?
Yeah, man. Hey, man, he's done his. He done his.
Did his research.
Hey, man, that's good, man. So okay, so see, he's done his. He done his. That's what's up, man. That's what's up, man.
I had
that's
a
what's
day
up,
on him.
man. That's
I
what's
ain't
up.
had
Man.
no day on her.
That's
I had
what's
a
up,
day
man.
on him.
That's what's up, man. Yeah. So I went to Cosmo school. Finished school, and then when I took the test, I flunked it. I flunked the test. By the second time, I flunked it. By the third time, I always flunked it by like 1 or 2 points. And so by the fourth time I flunked it, he gave it to me. I just took it and balled it up and just threw it. Like, so it was a point where I was like, man, maybe it's not gonna work for me. Maybe it's not gonna happen for me. And I was like, I was thinking about going into mortuary science or something. And I was thinking of another plan C, plan D. And so, but something in me just said, keep going. And so eventually I went and I passed it on the seventh time. But the thing about it is that particular year, I only worked on one show. It was a BET movie that year. And when I went to that show, I was getting paid $50 a day. And the lady that hired me, I had clients still hitting me up like to come cut their hair. So I would ask her when I got done, can I leave you to go to the shop? She said, listen, do you want to do this or do you want to do that? I said, I want to do this. She said, well, sit your ass down.
Okay.
And so I sat down and just like figured it out. Like, okay, I'm going to go cut my clients when I leave here. Fast forward after that show, that September of that year, 2018, my sister passed.
Damn.
Yeah, she passed out of nowhere. And then a month and a half later, her best friend passed.
Shit.
Wow.
So I was in a dark, like down place. Well, that January because I was here visiting, that January when I left to go back to LA, I said, man, I'm not coming back here without something. And it seemed like as soon as that 2019, I started getting hit up to come work on Snowfall, go over on Snowfall, go over on Space Jam, go over here, do this. And
so dope, man.
and I was just getting hit up.
Yeah.
And then eventually this fast forward to, it was a show on Netflix called The Astronomy Club. I was the barber on that. And then right after that, I was driving to the barbershop and well, before I even get to that, hold that thought, okay?
Okay.
In 2015, it was a panel that I went to in Hollywood. And I never forget, it's called a hair symposium to talk to different people in the business about how to get there. And when I went to it, I never forget the guy that was there. He announced to everybody, he said, excuse me. He said, you all could be anywhere that you want to be right now, but you're here this early in the morning because you want to do this. Mm-hmm. And there was 5 women up on the panel that were department heads of hair and makeup for the business. One lady, her name was Camille Friend. After she got done talking, I introduced myself to her and we were talking and we became cool. At that particular time, I had a podcast that maybe like 2 years later, I hit her up and said, hey, I got this podcast that I'm starting and I want to know if I can interview you. She was like, yeah, sure. Well, it was great timing because she had just department headed the Black Panther movie. Mm-hmm. She was the department head of hair for Black Panther. So I was able to interview her for my podcast and talk about the movie.
Okay.
The next day after I interviewed her, so she was like, yeah, come by the house. I went by the house. She had cheese and crackers and wine, and we sat there, and I'm basically recording the podcast. The next day she hit me. She says, hey, I got a client that needs a haircut. How much you charge? And I was like, I don't know. I mean, $60. She's like, oh, I can get you more than that. She's like, I'll send the agent your information. So I was like, okay. She said, matter of fact, I'll do it, for 200. And, for 200, you can do the. I was like, okay. So the agent hits me up and says, hey, yeah, so you're going to cut the client, blah, 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 blah. I said, yeah. He's like, okay, here's the address. And you have to sign this NDA. I was like, okay.
Oh,
That's somebody.
Yeah, you have to sign this NDA. I was like, okay. So the next, they send me the address. And then when you get there, ask for Frank at the counter or whatever. So when I get there, this was like the next day, and go down like Beverly Hills somewhere at some hotel. And they were like, I said, I went in and I was like, I said, yeah, I'm here for Frank. They was like, oh, okay, follow me. And they took me to this side hallway, whatever, where the elevator, and the guy pressed the button, went up to the floor. He said, yeah, the room is so-and-so. So when I go to the room, keep in mind, it's like a movie, man. I'm going into the room, I'm walking the hallway, I'm hearing like the music playing in the hotel. I'm going to the door, and I hit the door, dun, 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 and the door opens up, and it's Lupita, the actress, Lupita.
Yeah, oh shit.
It's her. She's like, oh, hey. So I go in, and it's just me and her in her hotel room, and she's so short that she's sitting on pillows in the chair while I'm cutting the back of her head.
Yeah.
So I'm cutting the back of her head, and eventually her friend that's a costumer comes by. And anyway, so she was like, yeah, Skip, so go see the movie. Because it was for the Black Panther premiere.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So she was like, yeah, go see the movie when it comes out this weekend. I'm like, okay, yeah. Anyway, so I leave. The next day, Camille was like, yeah, Lupita, she loved, the hair, and you were great. I was like, cool. Keep in mind, this was in early 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward, that fall 2019, I'm driving to the barbershop. This was after my sister passed, all that. Drive to the barbershop that morning. I get a text from Camille, friend. She texts me. She says, hey, Skip, are you available on these dates at these locations? And I'm texting her. I says, Camille, I said, is this union? She said, yes. I said, Camille, I'm still not union. I'm not.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm hiring you. I was like, what? Ended up, and what happened was, so that happened on the year anniversary of my sister passing.
Oh,
Wow.
And it ended up being this movie called Tenet, Christopher Nolan film called Tenet.
Okay.
And they had us in the desert for 3 weeks filming. Have you all seen Tenet?
Man,
Never
Gonna
seen
have to now.
the name sounds.
I
familiar.
definitely am.
It's a Christopher Nolan film, and in this particular scene, that they were fighting backwards in the desert. We were out there for that. They took 3 weeks to film that scene.
Just that scene.
Just that scene, 3 weeks.
Wow.
But yeah, it's called Tenet, and so that was when I officially got in, because when I worked on that, then I ended up getting another job for a military show, and then that's when I got all my days to finally get into the union. And then the pandemic hit, and when the pandemic kind of lifted, then my first official gig as a barber in TV and film was a TV show called SEAL Team. And it was the 5th season of SEAL Team.
Ooh,
Man, that's
I know that movie. I know that SEAL Team.
SEAL Team?
Yeah,
I was on the 5th
That's
season
legit.
of that. I was on the 5th season.
Wow.
So that was
Yeah.
how that occurred.
Is that what led you to that mindset that one of the greatest things you do is not give up?
Not give up, man. Not give up. Well, yeah. So my thing is this. I feel like with anything that you have to live in the journey.
Yes.
You can't, when living out there, I've seen a lot of people come out there and put their journey to a limit. Like, oh, if it doesn't happen in 2 years, I'm out.
Mhm.
But you can't put the limit. You can't put your journey to a limit. You can't say if it doesn't happen in 2 years, I'm out, because you have to find a way to make the journey become a part of you and say, I'm not leaving empty handed. And that was my determination and goal. I'm like, I'm not leaving empty handed. I have to make it count. If I left St. Louis, so I have to make this count. I don't have the luxury of just waking up and just being like, this is regular. Like, no, I came here with a purpose. And that's why in From the Lou, I said, you can't spell hustle without the STL.
Right.
And that's why I said that in the song. It was kind of like a confirmation for myself, but also to others that are here that may be on a certain journey that they're on. You got to remember that about yourself.
Yeah.
Being from St. Louis, man.
I did see that. Now that you had it up, I did see that movie. And
You did see that?
Yeah.
So then when they were fighting backwards in that movie, that scene that was out there. And so after that, it just began, man. And it's now, if you check the IMDb,
it's crazy.
Builds up. Yeah.
One more question. So I saw an interview with you and Dr. Vicky Lee, RIP, whatever, and she mentioned a movie or something about at the end of the movie you had a broom or something.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, I made a cameo appearance in that movie. When I first came out to LA, I did a few cameos doing some background work.
Really? What was the name of that movie?
Stud.
Oh, okay.
It was called Stud. Yeah, it was called Stud. Miss Vicky Lee, she passed, I think, in 2016 now.
Yeah, Stud the movie.
Yeah, she passed. And as a matter of fact, if you go and you type in Jason Chandler Pettis, my IMDb will pop up.
Really?
And you can see, PETTUS right there.
It's right there.
So right there, the IMDb. So go right there where it says, all that.
Wow.
Did you have to
Grey's
plug it in?
Anatomy?
Grey's Anatomy.
Fallout. Quit playing.
Oh.
Yeah.
NCIS Origins.
This your resume?
Look at my dude. Look at my dude.
Dude, hold up. Go to the very top real quick. Hit the upcoming.
I was about to ask you about something.
Oh, I see that Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I was about to ask you what's the fourth one down?
Yeah. Michael.
Yeah, the Michael Jackson.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
Okay, now scroll down. Yeah.
God.
Reasonable Doubt series, yeah.
Hey, anybody
goes on
working with Grey's Anatomy, quit playing.
Grey's
Like
Anatomy.
that's the top of the top.
They've been on forever.
Grey's Anatomy, man.
And Fallout, NCIS. Oh man.
Hey, salute, brother.
You working,
I love
man.
Fallout.
From the Lou to Hollywood.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, man. From Hazelwood to Hollywood, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So is there anything else that you can give us that you're working on that's not listed here on Up and Coming, that you can talk about, that you're allowed to talk about movie-wise, project-wise?
I worked on this show. I was there. Was it Stewart Fails to Save the Universe? It's like a spinoff of
Stuart Little?
No, it's a spinoff of what's the man?
Stewart saves the
Stewart Fails to Save. Stewart Saves the Universe.
Hazelwood. Matter of fact, you went to Hazelwood Central and East, didn't you?
I went to East my freshman year and went to
Stewart Saves.
Hold on, I took a pic. Okay. So Stewart's called Stewart.
Stewart Saves the Universe?
Yeah. Yeah, right there. Stewart Fails to Save the Universe. So it's a spinoff of what's that? It's a spinoff of a show that was on before. I forgot. But I'm also working on this show called The Land. Been working on this what's it, Dan Fogelman show. He, the producer, he did Paradise.
Oh wow.
And This Is Us. So this is
Wow.
it's a Hulu show. If you look up The Land, that's what I'm currently working on now. The Land. And then when I go back, Hulu.
Yeah, you a busy
so it's
man.
this. So when I go back, I start working on this show called
Oh man.
yeah. I start working on this show called the fourth season of Shrinking, Apple TV show Shrinking.
Wow.
And I seen Harrison Ford, man. It's crazy because I
Oh,
was
my God.
yeah, I happened to because he's on that show. So I'm happening to like leave the trailer and I'm like walking in my car and I'm walking through the trailers and I'm look over and I see this older man just kind of standing there, kind of walking. I'm like, hey, how you doing, sir? And I'm walking. I'm like, hold on a minute, that's Harrison.
That was Harrison
Yeah,
Ford.
yeah.
Man, that's
Damn.
I'm just like, hey, how you doing, sir?
Man, called so
Man, I literally watched the movie
Yeah.
Gray probably about 40 times.
Now, have you ever like stopped since you're already on set? Like, hey, can I get a picture? Or is it?
Nah.
It's one of those unspoken rules.
Yeah,
to do that.
nah.
Keep it professional.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to keep it
Makes
because actors and all of them, they're the first ones that we're the first ones they see in the morning. So eventually they get in your chair. Like you ever seen the show The Studio?
No.
Apple TV with Seth Rogen and all them.
Oh shit.
Yeah. So it was this. They had Anthony Mackie. I did his hair. I cut his hair for that. He was in there, and they had another cameo with Ron Howard.
Oh damn.
He came in and I did his beard for the scene.
Yeah, you cut Sugar Ray Leonard hair too.
I did. Yeah, I did Sugar Ray Leonard.
What about Michael Jai White?
I did Michael. Yeah, I was cutting Michael Jai White's hair for about 5 years, man.
Oh, that's what's up, man. That's what's up.
Yeah, I was cutting his hair for about 5 years.
I would have been talking shit if
5 years from
Sugar Ray Leonard. Oh, dog, I would have engaged. I'd have got him to engage in some conversation.
But man, just the gist of it all, man. That's just I don't know, man. You know, it's a blessing, man. You know what I mean? And so
it's definitely
that's one of the reasons why I was like, yo, I gotta talk to somebody, man. I gotta talk stories. Because I got stories, man. You know what I'm saying? So when Fence was like, well, reach out to Odie. And that's when I was like, okay. And so I called Odie.
Yeah, I'm glad you came.
And it's so crazy because last night, man, I had this pain in my back. I woke up today, the pain was like, I was like, I don't know if I was like, man, can y'all do Zoom, man? And he was like, nah, we're not able to do. So I was like, you know what? Let me just get up, you know what I'm saying? Go get some a leave or whatever. And let me just push through. Let me just get there, man. You know what I mean? And so I'm glad I was able to come.
Son of a bitch is hurt.
We appreciate it. Like,
Yeah.
definitely, man.
Well, Mr. Skip, we appreciate you being on the show.
Man, appreciate you having me, man.
Hazelwood to Hollywood.
Hazelwood to Hollywood, man.
Literally, Hazelwood to Hollywood. That is the perfect title for this. We're out of here. Grind it up. Thank you so much for being on the show. See you guys next time.
Salute.
Look at you. You got
Run it up. We're chasing all the lights all day, every night. Hustle till we get it right. Aiming for the moon, shoot the stars fly by.